Good afternoon, and welcome to our August Town of Islip Town Board meeting on this absolutely gorgeous summer day. And you guys are here. Holy cow. We'd like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, if everyone would please stand. And I would ask our Town Controller, Joe Ludwig, to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, he's going to kill me. Thank you so much, Joe. Busy time for the controller and his department as we're preparing budgets for next year. This afternoon, we are just so very proud to be able to recognize 5 dedicated individuals whose quick thinking and immediate action heroically saved 4 lives from a house fire earlier this summer. And I would ask the members of the town board if you would please come join me as we recognize them. On Sunday, July 17th, around 11 in the morning, Islip Terrace, Islip, and East Islip volunteer firefighters responded to an emergency call from a young woman who was trapped in the basement level of a home that had caught on fire with her 3 dogs. Swiftly moving into action, Islip Terrace firefighters Matthew Arthurs, Danny Balsucci, were able to break into the basement through a window and safely pull the trapped woman from the blaze. During the rescue operation, First Assistant Chief of the Islip Fire Department and off-duty Suffolk County Police Department Officer Jared Gunst, First Assistant Chief of the Islip Fire Department Alden Schroeder, and East Islip Fire Department firefighter and one of our own Town of Islip employee, Michael Hand, were able to locate the woman's 3 dogs and bring them to safety. Chief Gunst, who serves on Suffolk County PD's Medical Crisis Action Team, had recently underwent medical training to assist police canines in distress and was able to provide the rescued dogs with advanced medical support before they were safely transported to Veterinary Medical Center of Long Island in West Islip. Thanks to these 5 dedicated men, all 4 lives were saved. So I'd ask these gentlemen if they'd please join us at the podium, Jared, Alden, Michael, Matthew, and Danny, and accept a sincere thank you from all of us at the town for your exemplary deeds and for your continued bravery and dedication to safeguard the well-being of all in our community, 4-legged companions included. You truly are heroes, and we thank you so very, very much. Please come forward. So moving on, it's hard to believe, but we're here already in August, and there's still so many exciting developments to look forward to in the town. First of all, we are so, I want to recognize a young man who is helping out as an intern with our photographer, Dan Goodrich, who is a Newsday and many other award-winning former photographer, but working here with us in the town of Islip, and loves the opportunity to mentor young people. And right now, he's mentoring Sam Hasfell, who's a student at Brentwood High School, who I've met in our travels many, many times. Very involved with the Police Explorer post at the 3rd Precinct. Also with, it seems like every time I turn around, he is doing something else for the community. And just this past Saturday, I saw Sam at Brightwater's ambulance. He's a volunteer there also, and he's here helping out Dan. So welcome and thank you. We really appreciate your efforts, Sam. So we are so very proud to announce that Moody's Analytics has once again reaffirmed the town's AAA bond rating for the 7th consecutive time. Yes, 7 times. The town's rating was upgraded to AAA during my first full term in office in March of 2016. And with the assistance and cooperation of the town board, we have been able to maintain our strong AAA rating, even during times of high inflation and the pandemic. The AAA bond rating is the highest that can be assigned to a municipality. And please understand that we all, every single member of the town board, we remain committed to working closely with our commissioners to make certain that each and every taxpayer dollar spent is done with the utmost scrutiny. And this really does help when the rating agencies come in and look at your entire operation, and they really are very, very thorough in doing so. So to the members of the town board, to our controller, Joe Ludwig, and his team, and the commissioners who helped get us there, we really want to say thank you. We're also pleased to announce that funding has now been completed to move forward with the Central Islip Downtown Revitalization Initiative. That's a DRI. Thanks to a grant secured recently by Congressman Andrew Garbarino, the town will receive the remaining $3 million to install the new sewer connection for downtown Central Islip. This connection will allow for the development of a more diversified range of businesses and provide the capability to attract the type of businesses that the sewer connectivity will enable them to be successful. This connection is essential to the revitalization success, and this goes back to 2016 when we began the process of applying for that $10 million grant. It took us 3 strikes at the apple to be successful, and we finally were successful in securing that $10 million for downtown CI. But of course, COVID hit, so that created a little bit of a delay, but we are finally moving forward. This will bring much needed revitalization to the community. And 1 or 2 more announcements. Our Youth Bureau's Back to School Drive is now underway. We have 3 drop-off locations, one in the east end of town at Councilwoman Mullen's office, at the Jacob Ocker's house in Oakdale, one at Town Hall West, and right here on Main Street in Islip. Please consider donating and help the children of our community enjoy a successful school year. And lastly, in recognition of Recovery Awareness Month, Islip Goes Purple will return Thursday, September 1st with a kickoff color fun run right here at Town Hall. And this initiative, Islip Goes Purple, was something we heard about that happened down in Maryland, and a member of our opioid and drug abuse task force brought it to the group, and we initiated it about 3 years ago. This will be our 4th year, and other towns have come on board, Town of Huntington, Town of Babylon, Town of Brookhaven. And what this does is raise awareness, let people know that there are people that are struggling, there are people that are in recovery, and it's good to talk about it. There's no shame about it. So this initiative is helping along that goal. And for information on how to participate, we ask you to go to the Islip Goes Purple website at islipgoespurple.com and check in all month long for all of the ways that you can help us raise awareness for those struggling with addiction and for those in recovery. So with that, we ask you to all enjoy the rest of your summer, and we will proceed to the rest of the meeting. Thank you. The first item on the agenda this afternoon is a meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. I'll call for a motion for the board to convene. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor, opposed, we are convened, a quorum being present. Mr. Walzer.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the agency board. John Walzer, Executive Director, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip, New York. I have several items for your consideration today. The first item for your consideration is the approval of the minutes from the agency board meeting on July 12th of this year.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Cochran, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor, opposed, approved.
Okay, thank you. The next item for your consideration is an inducement resolution between the agency and Basilico Materials East, LLC, located at 615 Furrows Road in Holbrook. This project involves an extensive renovation of a fixed-base asphalt plant and asphalt recycling facility, which will result in significant reductions in air and noise emissions fuel consumption, and aggregate waste. Also involved in the project are increases in the buffers between the plant, operation, and neighboring properties, improving the aesthetics of the site from the road, and further reducing noise. This project represents a $9 million capital investment and an increase of 7 new jobs at the site.
Any questions? Motion? A motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. The next item for your consideration is an authorizing resolution for a project induced at last month's meeting, Eastview Apartment Development, LLC, a 25-unit housing development on Eastview Drive in central Islip.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullin, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. The next item for your consideration is also an authorizing resolution for a project induced last month, V1 ISP3 LLC, a 128,000 square foot spec industrial development at 2100 Smithtown Boulevard in Ronkonkoma.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Thank you. The next item is a resolution consenting to a sublease of part of the building at 120 Wilshire Boulevard in Edgewood to Broadridge Financial.
Questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullin, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
And the last item I have for you today is a resolution authorizing a mortgage financing for 11 Maple Avenue Associates LLC at 11 Maple Avenue in Bayshore.
Thank you. Are there any questions on that? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
And that's all I have for you today.
Thank you very much. Motion to adjourn the Industrial Development Agency meeting by Councilman O'Connor, second by
Second.
Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned and move to the next item on the agenda. Taryn, if you will, on the Board of Cleanups. And we have quite a number of them today.
Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, member of the Town Board, Town Clerk, Taryn Jewell, Assistant Town Attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip. Number 1, to clean up the premises located at 0 Messina Street, Central Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons for the property interest in this premise.
Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 2, to clean up the premises located at 0 Palermo Street, Central Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons for the property interest in this premise.
Questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor.
Second.
Second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 3, to board and clean up the premises located at 5 South Road, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons for the property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 4 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Number 5, to clean up the premises located at 29 Gladstone Avenue, West Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons for the property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 6, to clean up the premises located at 40 Keswick Drive, East Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons for the property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Second.
by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 7, to board and clean up the premises located at 51 Kenwood Drive, Bohemia. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, an unsecured in-ground pool, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was read to all known persons for the property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 8, to board and clean up the premises located at 75 Seacliff Street, Islip Terrace. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors on the main structure, an unsecured detached shed, and an unsecured accessory structure with fire damage. 2 fire-damaged vehicles, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Are there any questions?
I have a question. Karen, it looks like the structure at the front, if the first photo is taken from the front of the property line, the structure in the front has the fire damage, but the structure in the back seems to be free from fire damage, but that has open and unsecured doors, as you referenced.
So I thought the same, but I based my speech off of the code investigator's report, and he said that the main structure is the one in the back, and the one with the fire damage was the accessory structure. So
Okay.
it's all the same property.
But the main, despite the fire damage to the structure in the front, the one in the back that
Is unsecured.
seems free from fire damage seems completely wide open, doors and windows wide open.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep, okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 9, to clean up the premises located at 99 Palermo Street, Central Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 10, to board and clean up the premises located at 144 Ellery Street, Brentwood. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Any questions?
I had a question again. Apologize. There seems to be a 10-yard, or 30-yard dumpster right in the driveway. I think it's probably the 7th or 8th photo back. And the dumpster is fairly well advertised with a corporate representative and a phone number. Do we reach out to the owner of the dumpster to find out what's going on here? Because there's obviously placed there. It's clear as day who the owner of the dumpster is with their phone number on it.
From
Got there somehow.
my understanding, they don't, only because the notice gives them until today to come into compliance. So because that dumpster's there, they're not done with the violation. So if you want me to call, I can. But as of today, it was not completed.
I'm just curious of the process. So, we move forward with the board up and cleanup. What happens to this 30-yard dumpster?
Sometimes our DPW will remove it if it's still there. Other times they might not be there by the time our crews come back.
Do we do anything about it, the town?
Only if it's still there when our DPW department gets there, they may call,
Yeah.
or we might even remove it ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I don't want to mention the name publicly because I don't think anybody deserves that, but it's clear as day who the dumpster belongs to, so maybe we could give them a call and they could pull it out of there.
I can do that.
Thanks.
Thanks, Taryn. Next.
Oh,
You need to vote on that one.
Oh, I'm
sir.
so sorry. Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second. By Councilman Guadron. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 11, to board and clean up the premises located at 145 North Connecticut Ave, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
By Councilman Cochran, second. By Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 12 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Number 13, to board and clean up the premises located at 159 Mohawk Street, Ronkonkoma. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Questions? Motion? Motion by Councilwoman
Second.
Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 14, to clean up the premises located at 171 Elm Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 15, to board and clean up the premises located at 190 Ava Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 16, to clean up the premises located at 224 Messina Street, Central Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 17, to clean up the premises located at 318 Muriel Street, Holbrook. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise. And I would also like to mention the owner emailed me at 12 o'clock p.m. today stating that they were sick and couldn't attend, and that it's a squatter situation.
Okay. Any questions?
I have a question, Taryn, based
Yeah.
upon the representation you just made, that wouldn't affect our, moving forward. It would actually even encourage the vote.
I
correct?
agree, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know that I did
Thank
receive
you.
the email.
We appreciate.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 18, to board and clean up the premises located at 403 Mayflower Avenue, Brentwood. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion. Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 19 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Number 20, to clean up the premises located at 901 Udall Road, West Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 21, to clean up the premises located at 992 Connecticut Avenue, Central Islip. On this vacant property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premise.
Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
And number 22 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Taryn. It was a busy month, 20 parcels, and we appreciate all the efforts of all involved, and I know the neighbors do. Next, we'll move to authorization with the town clerk to advertise for public hearing to consider amending the 2022 contract with Community Ambulance Company for emergency ambulance services. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is approved. Item 4, the appropriation transfers. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? The motion is approved. We move to 5, authorization for supervisor to enter into an agreement with National EAP Services, Inc. to provide employee assistance program plan management. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 6 are the bid awards. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 7 are the option year resolutions. Questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 8, authorization for supervisor to execute an amendment to the professional services agreement with PW Grosser Consulting to include additional services associated with the Browns River project. I think everyone who's been involved with that, this is something the community's been asking for a long time, and it's required a lot of attention and resources. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 9, authorization for supervisor to enter into several agreements for programs to be held throughout the town to be funded either by registration fees or grant fees. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 10, authorization for supervisor to execute an agreement with Race is Awesome to provide services in connection with the Northwell Health Great South Bay Run, scheduled on September 24th, 2022. Any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 11, authorization for supervisor to execute an amended grant agreement with Suffolk County Office for the Agent in connection with the vehicle purchase agreement number 001-6779-4980-95295. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 12, authorization for supervisor to extend the professional services agreements with K Mclean Associates, PC, and Lockwood Kessler Bartlett. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 13, special events. A lot of exciting happenings across the town. Nice to see all that happening again.
I think Mr. Corsini's event is event number F.
Yes.
F.
Yes.
Letter F.
Yep.
No, no.
No, that's okay.
Just noticing.
We're good. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 14, Town Board acceptance of a donation from R&B Development Consultants of telecom equipment with an approximate value of $40,000. Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 15, Town Board approval to endorse the application of a grant under Title IX of the Environmental Protection Act of '93 for a park project known as Rinks Pride in Athletics for Life, located within the town of Islip. Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 16, Town Board designation of JLL as master developer of the Midway Crossing project. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 17, Town Board approval to form a local development corporation with Suffolk County to promote and conduct economic development activities in the town of Islip. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion? Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? We have 4 in favor, 1 abstention. The motion carries. Item 18, authorization for the supervisor to declare surplus and enter into a contract of sale with Brentwood Legion Ambulance Services for real property located at 29 3rd Avenue, Brentwood. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion passes. Item 19, authorization for the supervisor to declare surplus and enter into a contract of sale with Brentwood Legion Ambulance Services, Inc. for property located at 25 3rd Avenue, Brentwood. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion carries. Item 20, acceptance of a deed from Rose L. Galliotto Living Trust for a corner radius dedication for highway purposes in connection with a portion of the property located at the southeast corner of Joshua's Path and Ralph Avenue in central Islip. Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 21, authorization for the supervisor to execute an agreement with Luminescence Production Services, LLC, to provide services for the Summer Drive-In movie series. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Mullins, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved, and we thank Good Samaritan Hospital and Catholic Health for their sponsorship of that incredibly popular movie series all summer long. Item 22, authorization for the supervisor to award an agreement for HVAC services to Premier Mechanical Services, Inc., in connection with Maine Terminal Building MEP upgrades at Longland Macarthur Airport. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 23, authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documents to award an agreement for general contracting services to J. Anthony Enterprises, Inc., for general contracting in connection with Phase 2 of the rehabilitation of the main terminal building at Longland Macarthur Airport. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Mullins, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 23, authorization for supervisor to execute any and all documents to award an agreement for general contracting services to J. Anthony Enterprises, Inc. for general contracting in connection with Phase 2 of the rehabilitation of the main terminal building at Longland Macarthur Airport. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 24, authorization for supervisor to execute all documents necessary to amend the concession agreement with Hvac LLC, DBA Enterprise Rent-A-Car and National Car Rental. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 25, authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to award an agreement for electrical services to Hogland Energy LLC as the electrical contractor in connection with main terminal building MEP upgrades at Longland Macarthur Airport. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 26, authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documents to execute an amendment to the on-airport rental car concession agreement at Longland Macarthur Airport with Avis Budget Car Rental, LLC. Questions? None. Motion by Councilman Guadrone, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 27, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Brightwood, wherein the Town of Iceland will be reimbursed $100 per hour in exchange for services provided by a Town of Iceland fire marshal to the village. This is a perfect example of shared services, and want to thank the Commissioner of Public Safety and Deputy for working on this with the Village of Brightwaters. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Guadrone. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 28, authorization for supervisor to execute any documents necessary to apply for and accept community project funding from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Town of Islip Sewer Extension Project in Central Islip. Amen. Hallelujah. Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Guadrone. And again, I want to thank Congressman Garbarino and everyone that worked on the application for this grant. And finally, this is the last piece with moving forward in getting that DRI project going for Central Islip. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 29, authorization for the supervisor to enter into professional services agreement with K Mclean Associates for on-call traffic study services for the town of Islip. Any question? No questions. Motion. Motion by Councilman Mullins, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 30, town board approval to amend the previously approved ARPA projects that will be funded using the lost revenue portion of the SLRFF funding. Any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Mullins, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? We have 4 in favor, 1 abstention. Motion is approved. There are no other items to appear before us. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. We stand adjourned. And thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful